Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rant Booth, exclusively on A2D sponsored by All Campus between 10th and 11th Street on the Ocean City Boardwalk. All Campus is giving 20% off everything in our store, including hats, shirts, and our team cornhole sets to all our subscribers. Become an A2D member, $9.99 a month. Follow the link in the bio. Appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, weekly sports picks from the Money Pop Podcast and Willie Vegas. Football's kind of over. Money Pop Podcast just went off the air. I listened to a majority of it, talking some college hoops. We're going to get into some Sixers. We got the draft, the NFL offseason coming up, and then we'll debate if baseball's ever going to get its head out of its keister and get us a baseball season. Tomorrow's the deadline. For those of you who don't know, tomorrow's the deadline for them to make a deal without canceling any games.
Right.
If they do cancel games, they will not be made up. Those players will not make up that salary, and the owners will not make up that revenue. So does everyone want to make a little bit of money, or is that nobody want to make anything? They got to
Please come to a deal.
Listen, they're going to shoot themselves in the.
We all love Brett. I know you're obviously our football insider here, but I mean, are you a baseball guy? You're into all the sports, right?
Baseball. The union's too strong on both sides. I think they're both bunkered in, and they just got to have some concessions. They have to. Yeah. It's the salaries are out of control. The owners, are going to lock them out like they are doing, and it's just not good for the fans. Not at all.
Right.
So.
And then, Johnny, we got some action on the Ocean City Boardwalk, I assume. Are you still doing the 50% off sale?
Busy. Yeah, I got 50% off table up here. We got the cornhole board set up, so an extra 40% off anything else in the store. All our shirts are at 25% off. Yeah, it's a beautiful day out here. Boardwalk is packed, so come on up.
So we're out with the old, in with the new down there at All Campus. Go take advantage. Get yourself some cool hats at an extreme discount. Cornhole sets. They're not cheap, folks. 50% off a cornhole board.
Yeah, I only got one left. The guy came in and bought one yesterday. Yep.
There you go. We got the chats. Povia are known. They're in the chat. If you want to go down and rant, go see Johnny. Right there at All Campus between 10th and 11th Street. We'll get you on with me, Brad, John. Talk about whatever you want. So, guys, we're going to lead with basketball. The beard is here.
Yes,
the James Harden era starts with a bang on Friday night. They put up a 133 spot on the Minnesota Timberwolves right after the show today, 1 o'clock. It's going to be a Harden party at the Garden. Sixers going north to the Garden to play the New York Knicks. Line sits at 7.5, 8, depending on your sports book. Poll question of the day: will the Sixers cover 7.5? Versus the Knicks? Agree, disagree? Fire away, folks. Fire away.
You know what? I'm so encouraged that they played so effortless. They just played like they were playing for the last 5 years together.
Right.
The continuity, the rhythm was there. There was they bring the ball down low and then they kick it out to an open guy that was 3-point range. They just played like they were practicing for weeks on end. So that's encouraging.
How about James Harden made 6 threes in his Sixers debut, and Ben Simmons took 6 threes in his entire Sixers career.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Crazy stat like that. Brad, what's that do for a locker room when you bring in a guy
I think everyone, he's a type of a professional athlete that everyone plays better around him.
Yes.
He's going to bring the level of everyone else around him, and you saw that in his first outing. Everyone's just pumped up. I mean, to score that many points, 135 or 137 they scored.
Yeah,
it's impressive. So he's just going to elevate the play of everybody on that team.
What about the other end of it? What about when you rid your team of what seems to be a cancer in Ben Simmons? He has been there a week. He's already in the headlines for having a sore back from doing God knows what. There is no timetable for him to play basketball games for the Brooklyn Nets. Like, what does that do when
good riddance? Good riddance. And if they don't have the leadership in the locker room, they're in trouble, because then, like I said, he is a cancer, and then it spreads within the locker room and to the other maybe younger players that are just in the league that don't have the willpower or the work ethic. So it's not good. Not good.
Right. Yeah.
And
The one look that I got from the Sixers is for the first time I think I've ever watched the Sixers, including Iverson, Barkley. It was easy basketball. It looked just so effortless. Like everyone was in the right location. Everyone had open looks. It just looked like easy playground basketball. And it was actually fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. Hey, guys, I got to jump off real quick.
No problem.
that's fun. I was surprised. Like everyone wants to say, like and myself included, Ben Simmons, the basketball player, one of his biggest skills was making his teammates better,
Correct.
putting his teammates in a position for them to succeed.
It didn't look like that to
myself
the last
included,
game.
Johnny.
Right.
Like,
Me too.
I think I totally underestimated how much better James Harden makes his teammates.
Yeah,
James Harden
100%.
has this stigma around him that he's a me guy and he wants to score 30 points a game.
That he chucks up 30 shots a game. Yeah.
Chucker. Like, James Harden, not a chucker.
No.
Not what I saw in Minnesota. Now, I can't say that I watch more college basketball.
Even in Brooklyn, he really wasn't.
So, like, when I'm hearing this narrative that, James Harden's a me guy, James Harden's not a team guy, James Harden's a chucker,
right.
James Harden only cares about a stat line, he doesn't care about winning. I can't say that I watched many Houston Rockets games when he was there, or even many Brooklyn Nets games when he was there, because even though they're on national TV all the time, because I'm just not that into the NBA outside of Philadelphia 76ers. But what I saw Friday night against the Minnesota Timberwolves was a player that is extremely, extremely underrated in his ability to play team basketball and make his teammates better. And that's scary.
Yeah, and I don't know if that happens with age. I mean, he's getting a little bit older, so in his younger days, maybe he was a little bit more of a selfish player, a little bit more me. And to his defense, usually in Houston, he never really had a Batman, a Robin to his Batman. Right, so it was always hard that way. Now he definitely does. In Brooklyn, he does, and he's been a real playmaker. Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's a true point guard right now, which you don't really think of him that way throughout his history in the NBA.
Yeah, and you look at his teams like Oklahoma City. He started there, gets drafted there. He's with Durant and Westbrook, and they have Ibaka, and they have a really good team. They couldn't beat LeBron. That was just a collection of talent there. That wasn't a team that fit together. You go to Houston, and they had him and Chris Paul were a good tandem. Like, they fit together pretty good, and they had some good
Capella. They were okay. Yeah,
couldn't beat the Warriors. Okay, had the Warriors dead to rights, and Chris Paul would just get off the bench and give you a few minutes in Game 7 at home. At home, Chris Paul gives you nothing. That's not James Harden's fault. Then you go to Brooklyn and James Harden, you get the hammy in the playoffs, and Kyrie didn't play. And Durant tried his best to beat the Milwaukee Bucks last year in the Eastern Conference Finals to give James Harden yet another chance in the NBA Finals, but they fall short. Now he's on a team that's super talented in the Sixers, and he's with a running mate that you got the high-low thing with Joe, you got the pick-and-roll thing with Joe. His step-back's unreal.
It's absolutely crazy the level that Joel Embiid is playing basketball right now. Like I haven't seen that level since Kobe. Like, I mean, honestly, like he takes over games and just dominates. It's absolutely crazy.
Harden or Embiid?
Embiid, Joe.
Embiid,
he's just a dominant. There's nowhere on the court that he's not a dominant factor. Defensively, offensively, behind the arc, inside the paint, he's dominant everywhere.
And then I just want to call to the carpet. Like, look, everyone has their opinions. It's agree to disagree radio. You're allowed to have your opinion. And we get on the air with our 19 different shows, 20 different shows, whatever we have. We may have more than that. I don't even know. I can't even keep track. We're growing so fast here at A2D Radio. It's crazy. If you hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on. Every show is live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, Instagram. Right. Ralphie even gets involved on Twitch. He plays some NCAA.
Yeah, he does. I saw a little bit this week.
Denard Robinson on the cover.
I
think his squad's Western Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. So he plays Dynasty mode on Twitch with Western Kentucky. It's always fun. Always fun. A lot of college. That brings me back to my college days up at East Stroudsburg. NCAA.
One of the best games that there ever was, that game.
And they discontinue
They just got rid of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then there's Thomas Arnaud. There's breaking news. Another show.
There you
go. Do live reaction. Sixers Knicks, 1:30 p.m.
He's Navy. Okay.
What's
Ralphie's
that?
Navy.
Ralphie's Navy. The triple option.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. Because I didn't know, because I know Frank, he's on A2D Wednesday nights. He produces a sports sound, does a great job. He went to Western Kentucky.
Right.
There's a little meld going on between those two with Frank's alma mater. But like getting back to the Sixers and the James Harden trade, is there anyone out there that still thinks the Sixers got a raw deal in this trade after Friday night?
No, listen. The Sixers got the best deal that they can get. All right. Now I am going to play devil's advocate here a little bit. Vegas also agrees that Brooklyn has a better chance to win the championship. All right. Brooklyn has better odds than Philly.
Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, Brooklyn I think is plus 450 and Philly is plus 500 if I'm not mistaken. Brooklyn had a big win yesterday. Looks like the sanctions are going to be coming off the restrictions for the COVID.
Durant's
up in
coming
New York.
back next week.
Durant's coming back next week. Looks like they're going to get Kyrie now full time. Come March 7th, it looks like that might be a real possibility. So yeah, they're a talented team, but they're in a worse spot than what the Sixers are in because they're a talented team that might not have any chemistry, might not have any leadership. Us, the Sixers right now, you could just see Harden came in and he's taking over the meetings. He's taking over the huddles. He's really setting everyone up to succeed. At least it looked like in that game, and I think it's moving forward. It's even going to get better. So I think the Sixers are in a better position now. But Brooklyn, man, that's a talented team. That's a talented team. I think they were the number one percentage-wise in Vegas to come out of the East.
That's wrong. Like, Vegas is wrong. Vegas is really good at what they do.
I agree
with Vegas is wrong. The Nets have double goose egg shot to come out of the East.
I think
come out of the East and play championship basketball, playing 4-on-5 on the offensive end of the floor. Can't do it. Can't do it. And now you get the news that Ben Simmons, his back's a little sore.
Right.
And we got to push his back. He might not play.
I'd be shocked if he plays at all this year. I would. I'd be shocked if he plays.
Play a basketball game this year for Brooklyn. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, it wouldn't for me either.
Then you got James Harden for Seth Curry, Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. Who knows if Ben Simmons is even going to play basketball in the NBA ever again?
The guy looks like a broken shot. And listen, I'm not knocking it. You could look back.
I'll knock it. And I know I'm not trying to knock mental health because mental health is real. And if you have problems, hit up our boy Rob Lutman at what's Sunrise Detox and get yourself some help. There's no shame in asking for help. Tell him A2D Radio sent you. Ben Simmons does not have mental health issues. Ben Simmons is a spoiled diva brat who got told no for the first time in his life, and he took his ball and went home.
Right.
That's what happened. That's not mental health illness. No, that's not a mental health disorder.
Let's put it in all perspective here. I mean, I don't. It's not like I have insider information or anything like that, but I just look at what Shaquille O'Neal has been saying and interacting with Ben. And Shaq kind of went on the air this week and backed off of his statements and gave Ben a little bit of praise for what he's going through and told him, sorry for bashing him and everything. So I listened to a little bit of that.
You know what? Because that's fake. That's fake. That's agenda-driven nonsense. And that's why you got to lock it here on A2D Radio because we ain't got no agenda. We're pragmatic, we're tough, but we're fair, and we tell it like it is. Turner Sports got on the phone with Shaq and said, "Yo, man, you got to lay off this mental health stuff. Like that's not woke. That's not woke because God forbid you're in a national spotlight and you're not woke about something." And then probably Shaq's agent probably got on the phone with him and said, "Yo, man, like I know you have your opinions and you're paid to give your opinions, but like let's relax with that mental health. Like it's a real thing. People suffer from it." Ben Simmons does not have a mental health disorder.
I agree. I agree. I don't think it's a mental health thing. I think it's a weak-minded. I think he's just weak-minded. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
I agree.
That's what it is.
I agree. I agree.
Like, he's a cat guy, not a dog guy. He should tell you everything you need to know. All he wants to do is buy NFTs and play video games. He said it himself multiple times. I'm not going to change. I am who I am.
Right.
So not only to win the championship, not only does Ben Simmons have to go on the court for Brooklyn, which I don't know if that's going to happen at all. He's got to fit into their team strategy without being the primary ball handler, which he fell on his face time after time after time.
And that does scare me.
When his family friend, Brett Brown, just another little piece to the puzzle in the coddle Ben Simmons circle, tried to get him to play off the ball, and he flat out refused.
Right. And that's going to be an issue with them because they got two guys, especially Kyrie, who's going to control the ball up there if he comes back full time. That's going to be his ball. And Ben Simmons does need to find a way.
Why would you not have Kyrie Irving?
I agree. I
Kyrie and 38, 7 and 5 last night on the road.
He was on the play
last night.
Absolute monster last night. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's wrong. I mean, you might as well just take your money into the bathroom, put it in the toilet, and flush it down. Yeah. Because that's what you're doing if you bet on the Brooklyn Nets to win the NBA championship. 6.5 to 1.
I'm still taking them.
6.5 to 1 for the Sixers to win it all.
I think 5 to 1 right now.
5.5, 5 to 1. I'm doing that all day long.
Yeah.
They're the best player in the league. They're the best duo in the league.
That they do.
If Friday night was any indications on how Doc Rivers is going to run his rotations, like clockwork, those rotations were. He actually looked like
that was perfect.
Coach.
Yes, and to his credit, he said he was going to do it, and he did it, and it worked out perfectly. And I said it last week, I'll say it again. If Doc Rivers leaves two starters on the court every single minute, the Sixers get to the championship. If they don't, they're not getting there.
And I'm convinced they have enough ball. I wanted a ball handler on the buyout market.
Wow.
I don't need that anymore.
Nope.
I need a guy like now Gary Harris. Now that I watched the game with this core, now I'm on board with a guy like Gary Harris.
Gary Harris will be a perfect fit. Yep.
Yeah, defensive perimeter guy.
Yep. That's all I need.
I know some people got excited about Willie Cauley-Stein, myself included, the 10-day contract. He ain't going to be a factor here.
I think it's a nice little pickup. I think he can buy you 7-8 minutes a game. I think it'd be okay.
He just didn't look athletic.
Well, I mean, he hasn't really done much this year. Let him grow a little. I think he's just a good, solid rebounder and rim protector. That's all.
And then a lot of people are getting on Tobias for only having 6 points on Friday night. Relax.
Stop it.
Relax.
He looked good. What did he? How did he look bad? I thought he looked fine.
Look, there's only one basketball.
Correct.
There's only so many stats that can be compiled in a single game.
Only so many shots you can get.
You got 89 from Maxey, Harden, and Embiid.
Right.
And I think the threshold for me is if your top three scorers, whoever they are, have over 75, you're pretty much a lock to win.
You're going to win a game. Yep.
So they got that. Tobias had 6. We might have a Tobias game at the Garden.
I was just about to say Tobias could go off for 25 at any given game. It's not like he had a bad game or it was a bad player. He played perfectly fine in the system that was being ran that day. I'm okay with it.
Well, they just got out and ran. And look, a lot of things worked in the Sixers' favor on Friday night. So don't think every game's going to be a 30-point blowout.
Right.
Because that's not how sports work. That's not, especially professional sports, but
especially in the playoffs.
You got the Wolves, on the second leg of a back-to-back.
Yes.
You got to that late second quarter, early third quarter. Their legs were clearly heavy. They weren't making many shots. I think they had something like 59 points with a couple minutes left in the third.
Yeah, and their main scorer, Russell, went off the night before, right? And so you knew he wasn't going to be as hot as he was that night.
And then Cat's been having a pretty good season, but we have Joe down low. That kind of negates that. And nobody can stop Joe. So Joe's still going to get his. Well, Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to work super hard to get his against a big man like Joe.
Joel has owned him the whole entire NBA career.
Joe owns everyone. He's the best player in the league. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of things worked in the Sixers' favor. But getting back to the poll question, Brad is back with us.
Sorry about that, guys.
The Sixers will cover 7.5 versus the Knicks. I 100% agree. My money's in. Look, I'm firing missiles on the Sixers every night they play. I'm firing missiles on the Sixers team total every night they play. I'm firing on the Sixers total or over the posted total every night they play. And when I see James Harden at 22.5 points over under, that's
all it
over.
is.
That's nuts, ain't it?
I was so excited about how they gelled together the first game, and
it's unbelievable.
And they moved the ball. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Yeah. And then
first time in forever seeing that kind of basketball.
Playing in the Garden in the New York crowd.
Yes,
he'll have 40 points today.
Yes.
40 points.
Yep. 22.5 posted total. Then he's over 2.5 threes for James Harden.
Okay. What's the odds of him getting a triple double?
Good question.
That's a great question. Yeah.
A triple double.
John, are you as bullish as me on the 76ers today?
I'm all in. Yeah, I'm all in. I don't know what can deter anyone from not being excited about watching the team.
Yeah.
Their spacing is incredible now. The shot selection is just incredible now. James Harden is not the guy that people want to remember in Houston, that he needs 30 shots a game. That's not him anymore.
Hey, so John, you made a good point. Spacing. I was marveled at the spacing and just the court awareness by playing. He hasn't been there that long. It was his first game.
Right.
And then to have them look like that and to spread the ball and pass the ball with the efficiency they did was amazing. I'm like, this guy's the real deal.
And we were talking about when you were off, like how we all thought that was Ben Simmons, right? We all thought Ben Simmons was supposed to be that guy for us that would create the spacing, a 7-footer that can dribble and do what he does as a point guard.
Yeah.
But James Harden came in and just showed us in one day.
Yeah, that's
what he can do compared to what Ben Simmons can bring us.
Yep,
it's absolutely crazy.
And plus, we got a cancer out of the locker room.
Correct.
I mean, that's more than anything.
Well, you got a conversation that no one has to answer anymore. You don't have to deal with that question post game anymore.
And to have that over your head with Doc and the other younger players and Embiid, it's such a uplifting thing that he's gone.
Right. It takes a half hour out of your day preparing to answer those questions.
Agreed. And agreed.
Did you guys catch any of the Danny Green, Mike Missinelli Twitter beef?
Yes.
No. What was that?
Yes.
Okay. So Mike Miss, like, he kind of roasted Ben Simmons yet again, going out the door. Something, I don't have it in front of me and I'm paraphrasing. So if I get a little bit wrong, please forgive me. But, he kind of criticized, his teammates and leaders like Danny Green for enabling Ben Simmons to, not shoot the basketball, act like a baby, and be a spoiled diva. And Danny Green fired back at Mikey Miss, saying, like, how do you know you weren't in the locker room?
Well, exactly. See, that's what I was going to get at. So,
but then Danny Green does an interview, Brad, that leads, like, if you connect the dots and the critical think at all, that says the two players that went to Brooklyn in the trade with Ben Simmons were two players that didn't get along with Ben Simmons the most out of anybody in the whole locker room.
Yep.
And it didn't sound like Danny Green got along with Ben Simmons either.
I don't think anybody got along with him.
How could you? Yeah, I mean, how could you?
He's a jerk. Yeah.
When a team in the beginning of the year flies out to California to sit down with you and you don't even answer the door for them, I mean, that ended it right there.
Yeah. Joe said he tried to get him, like, I believe it was Joe, one of the team leaders said that even prior to him getting traded.
Right.
So recently.
Yep.
Before the trade happened, they were like, yo, man, like, can we
I
this?
I remember just a month ago, we were all excited because he was in the building.
Yeah.
Right. And we all thought he was suiting up and he was going to play and everything. But
what kind of expectations are these modern day athletes? I just don't get it. I make millions of dollars. I don't get it.
This leads a bad precedent, right? To college kids coming up thinking that they can control their future and they can control where they want to play and who they want to play for. And it could, it's a whole mess.
But, like, I don't want to hear anybody especially if they go out and they play like they did on Friday night against the Knicks this afternoon, which I don't see why they wouldn't. The Knicks are
Knicks are a good defensively team, so it's going to be a decent challenge.
They're quitting on their coach. This is what happens with Tibbs.
Yep.
He's there for a year and a half, 2 years, and he's too hard. He runs practices too tough. Tibbs is not hip to the modern athlete.
He's a 70s coach. He's a 70s coach.
He's a Bill Laimbeer type of coach, physical, tough practices, wants his teams to play hard-nosed, physical basketball. That's not the way these spoiled
coach? What do you mean? You want me to play defense the whole game? Come on.
Right.
God forbid, right, Brad?
Yeah.
Not the NBA nowadays.
But like they're getting run out the building like more nights than not up there in New York. I mean, the Knicks. What a disaster.
They started out hot. They started out to be a great team this year.
They have good players. Like
they do. Yeah.
Barrett's good. I like Quickly. Randall's good. Mitchell Robinson.
The trade they get Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is a talented young player.
I mean, they lost a lot with Derrick Rose being out with the knee injury.
Right.
I mean, he really found a niche there in New York back with Tibbs.
Yeah.
Funny that like the only guy who like jives with Tibbs is Derrick Rose, who you think would be a guy that
he's also an older player too.
Wouldn't jive. Well, he won MVP with the Bulls when Tibbs was the coach, so maybe. But like they lost a lot because he found a niche for himself as a great six man after his injuries in Chicago. But like just the narrative that the Sixers lost the trade. Like I'm done with it. Like.
That's still to me. That's still undetermined.
Are they really? Who's saying that? Who? I mean, listen. You got rid of him. You had to get rid of him. So anything is a positive trade.
Look,
I mean,
we make our living here, and I know like you guys aren't like the social media guys at A2, but we make our living interacting on Facebook with these different groups and different sports opinions. And I would say, and obviously like. The people who hate it are going to be a million times louder than the people who don't. Yep. So you hear that. It's like Nick Foles versus Carson Wentz. Like Carson Wentz was clearly a better quarterback, still is clearly a better quarterback despite his struggles. But the people who thought, the 20% of people that thought Nick Foles was actually a franchise quarterback,
so you hear. Yeah.
They're louder than the 80%
Correct.
Of the logical fans that know that Carson Wentz just has more skills to be better in the NFL than Nick Foles. So I think that's to do it. But yeah, people are really latching on to Seth Curry making a lot of threes in Brooklyn and Drummond being a serviceable big man and the age and the skill set of Ben Simmons. And then you see Stephen A. Smith on the TV, the talking head, saying that Daryl Morey got hosed in the deal. And then he makes a top 5 list of potential NBA contenders for the title, and the Sixers aren't even on the list.
He didn't put them on there. That's a joke.
Like we just talked about agenda while you were like these guys. Like Stephen A. Smith just wants to say Daryl Morey got hosed so he can get the be in Rich Paul's ear and get access to Rich Paul.
That's it.
So he's not going to dog Ben Simmons because he wants access to LeBron and Rich Paul and Ben Simmons and all the terrific players that Rich Paul represents. Like,
all the money that's around it.
Right.
Yep.
So like
you don't play the hand
I see right through Stephen A. Smith. It's a shame because Stephen A. Smith started his career with the Philly Inquirer, wrote for him for years.
Yeah, he was a Philly guy. Yeah,
he's not a Philly guy.
He was a
Philly guy.
Yeah, sure.
He got a job in Philadelphia.
He was a Philly news guy. Yeah,
he thinks he's a Philly guy, which is another beef I have with him. But he's from New York.
He's anti-Cowboys. I like him for that.
Yeah, huh?
That's probably the only thing that I find entertaining about Stephen A. Smith. But outside of, and he does know his stuff on basketball, except for what I saw this week about the Nets Sixers trade and his top 5.
Why does he get? Because he's controversial. Why does he get so much play? Like you said, he's a basketball guy. He don't know about anything else. Nothing else.
Because he's controversial.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. It's because he's
parlayed his success as a journal. Like, and good for him. Because if he gets that, then that opens the door for the people behind him to get that.
I guess.
So, but yeah.
People hating you pays just as much as people loving you.
Yeah, I don't care what Stephen A. Smith has to say about football, baseball.
Did you talk earlier about what Aikman is getting paid?
Oh my gosh, that deal that he just got, 10 mil, 10 mil,
I'm behind on that.
Oh my gosh.
Was it 10 mil a year?
No, 20.
20?
Yeah.
So him
It's
and Buck.
nuts.
So him and Buck are done,
Right.
Yeah,
and he's going to be with who on Monday Night Football?
crazy.
I don't know who he's going to be partnering up with yet.
And then
Yeah,
who's
they
gonna
don't.
take
They
Joe
don't know
Buck's
who's
spot?
going to partner, but they just paid him a ton of money.
I don't know why Romo didn't get that job. I love listening to Romo.
So
can't stand
Romo, Aikman, Reddick, Lewis. Like,
Reddick?
who do you like better?
I'm a Romo guy. I
Yeah,
love
Romo's
Romo.
good.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, Romo came out the gate strong,
Yeah.
and he was really good, and I liked him. And somewhere
gives the
along the
best
line, he
insight.
got a little big for his shoes.
Yeah,
I don't like when people tell me what's going to happen before the play actually happens.
But that was his
Okay.
stick, though. That was his
Right.
stick. I mean,
like
he was
it.
like, hey, here's what I'm looking for. The quarterback there in cover 2, and this guy's going to be open. And sure enough, the quarterback throws to that guy, and it's like,
Right.
That's what made him successful.
But I like to watch it, and then if you want to go through an instant replay and tell me this is why this happened because they're in this defense, and Romo or Mahomes knows that Kelsey's going to run this drag round and be wide open. I'm fine with that. That's cool. I like that. I don't like you telling me what's going to happen before the play actually happens.
Yeah.
Right.
5 years, $90 million for ESPN.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
Wow.
Good for him. I wonder who he's going to team with. I wonder who's going to take his spot with Joe Buck.
$20 million per season. Wow.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Because I think Al Michaels and Collinsworth, that was their last game, right? A couple weeks ago.
They're done. Yep.
So that's going to be Tyreke and someone. That's what they gave Tyreke all that money for.
They gave Romo a 10-year, $180 million contract.
That's what I thought. Yeah, he just
At
got a big one
CBS.
too. Yeah.
At CBS, yeah.
Hope
Wow.
you're doing
It's gonna
their
be him
game
and
of the
Nance.
week.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And Nance, he's all right. I like him for golf a lot.
Golf,
because
yeah.
got
He's
that
been nothing better than the Masters for him, golf,
that-
yeah.
monotone
Yeah.
nature he has for golf. And he's okay for football, and he's good for basketball. He's good. I like
He's not
guys
bad,
who do
yeah.
all the sports.
Yep.
They're cool, but yeah, that's crazy. So
Yeah. Crazy money.
lot of money.
A lot of money.
money. And I mean, I don't know what's he going to be with Tessitore.
I don't know.
I don't know who they're going to pair him with. Yeah.
I guess Lewis Riddick and Greasy are out. I like the crew.
Yeah,
didn't mind it.
three people's too much. That one guy, Greasy, always kind of got left out. But
Yes.
I think they do a nice job. 2 is adequate in a box. When
I
you do a
agree.
game. That's all
I
you need
agree.
is 2.
Okay, all right, let's get to some comments here. So John, you're all in on the Sixers. I mean, Brad, you're all the Sixers.
I love
rule
what the Sixers are doing.
Yeah. Okay. Rob Povey is in the house. Tom Arnone's in the house. Greg Milokovic, he's in the house. He agrees to the poll. So he's got the Sixers covering 7.5, 8, depending on what sports book you use. Jake Friel with Embiid and Harden on the floor at the same time. You're going to have someone open every time.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm in love with that step back that he does.
Yeah, it's sweet looking, man. It's
The
good.
1 footer, the 1 foot
Well,
step back.
Well, he'll get isolated through whatever, switches, pick and rolls, whatever.
Right.
And he'll just dare the guy, come on. And then he looks him right in the eyes and just, you're done.
Yeah. It's
and
crazy.
it goes in. I've never seen so many 4-point plays in one game.
Yeah. From Harden.
And they were all by one guy, James
Right.
Harden.
Right.
Joe, he gets M1s, but he's not getting the 3-point plus the foul.
That's what I
never
thought you were
seen-
talking about first. His step back, the 1 foot step back from Joe.
That ain't like Harden's.
No, it's not like Harden. It's not. No.
And I was watching a video. Joe's working on it with Harden in practice. So, don't be surprised if we see Joe taking some step back
Oh
threes.
boy.
But I don't. You know how I feel about Joe being away from the basket.
Well,
Mid range and in for Joe. Embiid step back is the new step back.
he took it from
yeah,
Dirk.
he's got
He
got
took it
that.
from Dirk.
Step
Dirk
back
was
is
the
new
original
step back.
one.
Yeah, but he's got that Olajuwon Dirk kind of
Combo.
dream
Yeah.
shuffle.
Right,
Thing.
right.
James, nothing's like James Harden. I've never seen a step back like that in my.
It's so big too. It's a 3 foot jump back that he does. It's crazy.
It's a travel.
It's a travel. Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. They haven't called traveling in 20
They
years.
haven't called traveling in 15
Uh-huh.
years in the NBA. So I like watching it. It entertains me, and that's cool. But even Curry, when he gets going, it's not like a crossover step back.
Correct.
He just kind of goes up, and then he's got that quick release where before the defense even knows, he's launched a 30-footer and making it.
And
right.
then he's turning back the other way to
He
cut the other way.
doesn't even look.
I like that. I like that.
But like Harden dares you. Like, okay, you want to be one-on-one? Come on out.
Oh, he was torching Cat. Every time the Cat got switched on him, he was torching.
You're cooked. You're done. See ya. 3 points for us. Oh, and you're going to foul me too?
Yep.
Cool. Sam Rose checking us out on YouTube. The name, image, likeness, cost for NCAA football games must be crazy. Going back to Ralphie, getting some Twitch play with Navy. Navy's a squad, the triple option.
Yeah.
Doing great things with Navy. The Nets have a better roster. Nets have a better roster than the Sixers, Sammy?
They do.
No.
Come on, stop it.
No.
They do. You can't deny that. They got a lot better talent. Are they a better team? I don't know yet. We'll find out in the playoffs. But they have a lot better talent.
So they beat the Sixers in five games?
If it was a bet for me, I'm taking Nets in 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Nets in 6. If that series comes to Sixers Brooklyn,
oh my God, I can't believe my ears.
Yeah,
I can't believe my ears. The Nets
Sixers will cover the
Sixers.
That's just the
Nets might not even make the playoffs.
Stop it. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Okay. Look, the only two teams I'm worried about in the East, outside of the Sixers, like the two biggest challengers to the Sixers,
right,
is Milwaukee. I know they lost last night, but they have Giannis and Middleton and Holiday, and they have a great coach, and they have a great supporting cast, and they're the champs.
They've been there.
And they're the champs. So we're going to put some respect on especially the last part, them being the champs.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I think that's going to be. I think those are the two best teams. And then you got Boston.
Boston's hot.
Bugaboo Boston.
They're hot.
Seems to be a thorn in the Sixers side. Who they were the first team to kind of tell the NBA, like, yo, if you play Ben Simmons and the Sixers like this, they're not going to beat you,
right?
Because Ben Simmons isn't going to shoot, and they're playing 4-on-5 offensively. That's why the Nets aren't going anywhere. You can't play second round playoff basketball and Eastern Conference basketball 4-on-5 on the offensive end of the floor. You just can't. It doesn't work.
Vegas agrees with me. That's all I gotta say.
That's it.
Sometimes Vegas is wrong.
Not 100%.
Not often.
Not often.
Not often.
They're wrong on this.
Vegas has the Brooklyn Nets being the number one team out of the East right now.
And Johnny, you fall into this trap too. I don't understand people who think that Ben Simmons is just going to flip this switch and be this guy that he's never been in his entire career and help the Nets win a championship.
It doesn't. To me, it's not about Ben Simmons. I don't know why we're making it out to be about.
It's
Ben
not
Simmons.
Ben Simmons. We just need to.
They have to me, the best offensive player in the game right now, in Kevin Durant.
Well, that's completely false because the best player in the game, offensively, defensively, all in, everything.
All around is Joel Embiid. Best offensive player in the game is Kevin Durant.
When's the last time Joe didn't get 30 points in a game?
I'm taking Kevin Durant. Most people are going to take Kevin Durant. If you have a last shot, who are you giving it to?
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. The Olympics said Kevin Durant. Everyone else says Kevin Durant.
No. Giving it to Joe.
Okay.
Best player
that's a homer call, though. Just say it as it.
That's
a homer call.
It's a homer call to say that Joel Embiid's the best player in the game, so I want him.
Joel Embiid is the best player in the game, yes. I will give you that because of what he can provide on the defensive side of the ball. He is not the best offensive player in the game. Kevin Durant has that title. And has had that title for a long time.
When he's on the Joe plays all the time. Kevin Durant never plays.
First time in Joe's career you're saying that too.
Well, this is the first time he hasn't been on a minutes restriction.
First time he's been in shape. Come on, we're A2D, right? We tell it how it is. Let's tell it how it is, Rob. Come on, man.
All right. Well, you can take your Brooklyn Nets and the clown car that's up there, and you can put your money down and hope and pray that
Listen, I'm
Everything
excited
magically comes
with the
together. I can't
Sixers,
believe
and
they're the
I'm
That's
not going to
ridiculous.
jump into anything. I want to see them play today and in the next 2 or 3 games together. That's all. But
Okay.
I'm going to watch intently today when they play up in New York. So
Who's stopping Joe on the Nets? You need a bucket against the Nets. You're putting it down low to Joe, and he's going to get you 2.
I agree with you.
Or
I
at
think he
least
can. Yeah, I think he can.
Get you 2 from the line.
Again, I haven't seen Joel Embiid be able to play 40 minutes in a game and last in the fourth quarter. We, as the Sixers are constructed right now, we need that. In the playoffs, we need 40 from him. I know Kevin Durant could give it to me. I know Kyrie Irving could give it to me. I don't know Joe can.
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Right. And that's to me who, when we say who won the trade, that's when you're going to find out who won the trade, the playoff series.
Yeah. Because right now, nothing. It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean nothing. Yep.
Samuel Rowe, Tyreke Evans. Look, Tyreke Evans was a tremendous prospect.
Right.
He hasn't been in the NBA in 2 years. He had some demons. It looks like he's straightened out. He's allowed to be in the league again. So good for him for, working hard to overcome his personal demons and be in a position to be back in the NBA. If the Sixers want to bring him in, great. If not, whatever.
He'd be an okay guy, but he's not going to be a savior. So,
well, there's too much risk and reward, so
that too. Yeah.
If you want to give him a 10-day contract and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. But I wouldn't
I'm not counting on him to bring me 15, 20 minutes a game.
Can't.
No.
He hasn't played since 2019. It's 2022.
Right.
So I get it. And he's from Philadelphia, which is cool.
Real talented kid. I
don't even know how old he is right now.
Can't be that old.
Yeah, I guess he came in at 18. So
right.
Everyone wants to tell me Drummond's old and washed up. No, he's not. He's 28 years old.
Drummond's got some years in him.
He just now entered the physical prime of his career.
Right.
I listened to Tim Legler do an interview once.
Legs is good.
And he said that he thinks that professional athletes, from 28 to 32, that's when the physical attributes are there, and you've also matured enough mentally.
Yep.
I think
and that's where the intersection crosses. Would you agree with that?
I think that age range is different in every sport.
Yes, okay. I was just about to say that.
So Legs is right with that. It's different in baseball's a little more cerebral between the athleticism and the endurance, along with the mental aspect. So that age group is different than football and basketball and hockey. So I agree with that.
And over the time frame, it's changed, right? The 80s, it was a little bit different than the 2000s, and now the 2020s.
Yeah, because the knowledge of our eating. I mean, we've come such a long way with our nutrition and how to work out our body. These guys are playing a lot longer,
right?
And more peak. Their peak shape is at an older age, so it's amazing. So.
Jake Friel does a great job on Fan Friday, handles our social media accounts. Just locked in a bet for Harden, Embiid, and Randall to score 25-plus points for plus 800. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. Nice.
So I guess that means all of them have to score
25
or more.
Okay. 800. Okay. That's a good one.
Yep.
So 8 to 1, 25 times 8. So you win a deuce there.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, look, I told you my bets. If you missed them, follow or fade. The choice is yours. I gave 2 losers last week. My picks have been good here on the Rant Booth, though.
They're okay.
Good.
Last week, Providence only wins by 1 in overtime.
They had to struggle to get that one, too.
Yeah, but that's the Big East, man.
Yeah.
That's the Big East.
They beat each other up. How many teams from the Big East are going to make the tournament? What do you think?
You got Nova. You got UConn.
I was about to say
Providence. You got Seton Hall.
6, right?
Creighton, no. Butler, no.
Creighton, maybe, right?
Butler's terrible. Remember when Butler used to be good?
Butler. Let me look at Lenardi's stuff. But, yeah, I mean, my bets, follow or fade, the choice is yours. I have the Sixers -8. So the spread went up a little bit. I got a little different line. 7.5, 8, depending on your sports book. I have James Harden over 22.5 points. I have James Harden over 2.5 threes, which I think he'll
Easy.
hit that the first two
Easy.
times the Sixers trot down the floor.
Yeah, right.
At least 2. And then I have over 217.5.
Okay.
And my NASCAR, I got my NASCAR garb on. I got my NASCAR.
You don't watch NASCAR, do
Yes,
you?
I did.
He's a big NASCAR guy.
you're
I can't
killing
get
me.
into it. It's the
Get into
only
NASCAR.
sport I can't get into.
Sport.
I would
Hold
say
on.
Wow.
Sport.
Right. The only
Sport.
What am
only
I supposed to bet
entertainment.
on? What am I supposed to bet on when there's no
Oh,
football?
you're a junkie. Come on.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
No debate there, Brad.
All right.
No debate there. But you bet on it, you pound beer, you watch cars go around.
So are you?
Like,
So
You
let's
watch
reel
cars
it
go
off.
around in
So
circles.
what crew is going to Vegas for the draft? Which
we're going. I don't know. That's up to.
We got to depend on how many people we're bringing.
All right.
Depends on how many people we're bringing.
Brad, to answer your question from earlier, James Harden 5-1 to get a triple double today.
Okay.
That's actually
that's
pretty,
not bad.
That's
Yeah.
actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Mr. Wing, absolutely a homer call.
Yeah.
KD all day. Patrick Thompson agrees with me. Mr. Wing, he doesn't
Tell him,
like
Rob.
much.
Tell him, Rob. Patrick Thompson.
He doesn't like much, Mr. Wing.
No.
He doesn't like much. Maybe
KD
it's just me.
got it.
Maybe he just doesn't like what comes out of my mouth. But yeah, he doesn't seem to like much.
Right.
Brian Daly's in the house.
How many
What's up,
people?
Brian?
I don't see it on my screen. How many are streaming? Where do I see that?
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Top left of your corner, I believe, if that's
left?
where you're looking. All right.
A few more comments. Kyrie, KD, when the Nets are healthy, best team in the East. Love the Sixers, but let's be realistic.
I'm not going to say best team, right? Because the Sixers could be the best team, but Brooklyn is the most talented team. The most talented team. Whether they parlay that into victories, I don't know.
Listen, how many times have I got on these airwaves and crushed the process, crushed Sam Hinkie, crushed Joel Embiid, and said that the process was a joke, and this is what happens when you let a dork like Sam Hinkie be in charge of basketball decisions.
Right.
I've roasted the Sixers. I'm the biggest hater on the process, maybe in the whole Delaware Valley. So you don't have to tell me to be realistic. I'm fair and pragmatic with everything I say on these airwaves. And Joel Embiid is better than Kevin Durant. I don't care if you need the last shot. I don't care if you need a bucket in the second quarter. I don't care if you need to stop at the end of the game. I'm taking Joe all day. Joe's a different animal right now. He is. He's the best player in the NBA. And if you want to take Kevin Durant, go ahead. If you think the Nets are better than the Sixers, cool. You're wrong. And name your price. Anyone who wants to make that bet with me right now, name your price.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I got it. You want. Name the price.
I got KD. I mean, to me, KD's the
Forget
best
the
offensive player to ever play this game.
I mean, whatever you want, whatever you want in terms of. I'm really referring to Mr. Wing, saying that the Nets are better than the Sixers, which is just kooky, foolish nonsense talk. The Nets are a bunch of clowns. They're always going to be clowns. They'll continue to be clowns. I'm not worried about them. The only two teams I'm worried about are Milwaukee and Boston.
Okay.
I'm only worried about Boston because history looms in the back of my mind. Right? Because the Boston Celtics, they've been our kryptonite.
You do forget Brooklyn without Harden, without Kyrie, were literally a toenail away from winning the championship. From beating Milwaukee and probably winning the championship, right?
Look,
a toenail away.
The Nets, let me explain it a different way so maybe you and the people can understand. Let me try and rephrase the argument. The Nets are the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA.
Okay.
They look good. They look sexy on paper. This, that, and the other.
Right.
All the great odds on the sports book because they get a lot of play and a lot of public notoriety from jackasses like Stephen A. Smith who want to say that they're the best team and they got the better end of the Sixers in a deal like that. They're not. They're going to disappoint you. Kevin Durant. I mean, okay, he ain't no winner.
That's a fair statement. That's a very fair statement. The talent that they have may not parlay into victories. It may not parlay into championships, and the talent that the Sixers have could. Yeah, I'm not denying that. I just think that anyone who says Brooklyn doesn't have more talent player for player is just crazy.
John, I think you have somebody stealing a cap in the background.
Yeah, I got it's a little crowded in here today.
Right,
a little crowded in here today.
So I mean, okay, like if you think that clown squad up in Brooklyn is taking the Sixers out of the playoffs, like good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I would bet on it. Yes.
What? So they'll get what? The New York will be the what seed?
The Knicks,
Knicks
or Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, yeah, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn probably is going to end up being an 8th seed, 7th seed, something like that. So we could see them first round.
They very well could be in the playing.
They're probably going to be in the playing game. Yes.
So, I mean, you want to roll the dice there, one and done.
I will roll the dice, one and done with KD any day.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Wow,
I would just
day.
love it. KD is a top 75 player of all time. Couldn't agree more, Sam.
He's a top 3 offensive player of all time.
Yeah, couldn't
top
agree
3.
more.
Top 3?
Kobe, Jordan, and KD.
KD in front of Wilt.
KD is look.
The guy does everything. He does everything, and he does it perfectly.
He's a top 75 player. I'm not going to sit here and rank, but you want to put Joe. I mean,
Joe could end up being there. He could.
Yeah. I mean, I can't put Joe in the top 75 right now, but when they do the 150th year anniversary of the NBA, right, Joe's going to be on that list.
Right.
No doubt in my mind.
Very well could be.
If he doesn't win the MVP this year, I'm launching a full-scale investigation in the voting process of the MVP because he's the best player in the league. He's the most valuable player in the league. Nothing I saw Friday night indicates that Joe is going to take a step back to anyone. I mean, People are tweeting like, "Oh man, Joe, he's only got 12 points at halftime." First off, that's a good half. It's not that you're spoiled rotten
to get him 30 every game,
points in halves all the time. But he ended the game with like 34 and 11.
Right.
James Harden or Joel Embiid had more points than James Harden on Friday night. That sounds weird because like Harden does the threes and he handles the ball, and big man Nitro Freak Kyrie will be able to play at home soon. Like good for him. Great. They're still not beating the Sixers.
Well,
and they're going to have a hard time fitting Ben Simmons into their rotation because of Ben Simmons' willingness to play off the basketball.
Yeah, we said earlier when Brad was going, Ben Simmons might not play. He might not play. And even if he doesn't play, I'm still taking Brooklyn. I still think Brooklyn is a better team. With or without Ben Simmons.
All right, so we're in agreement here on the rant booth here. Sixers will cover 7.5. No one's really worried about the Knicks. Should be all systems go. Fire away on the Sixers today. I mean, Harden at the Garden. I think that'll be trending.
Yeah, that's going to be
rather
quickly. He's good for 30 today.
I think so too.
30.
Make sure you check us out 1:30. So you get a little break, grab some lunch, kick it right back here at A2D Radio. Tom Arnaud will be leading live reactions to the Sixers and the Knicks at the Garden. Tip-off scheduled for about 1:10.
Don't miss that, guys. Live reactions for James Harden or James Harden at the Garden. Yeah, you're gonna want to watch this show.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. We're gonna be
turn down the volume on the TV. Turn up the volume for A2D.
There you go. You're home. You got the volume down. You got Tom Arnaud up. You got crack a beer.
It'll be a fun game to watch. Yep.
I'm gonna have a glass of wine.
There you go. I'm with you on that one, Brad.
Just watch.
You want to get a little bit of Eagles, a little bit.
Yeah, let's get some offseason. So, I don't remember an NFL offseason quite like this.
This will be interesting.
So many guys that are rumored to be on the move. Not just marginal guys either. 3 franchise quarterbacks. I saw the Saints just redid Michael Thomas and Ram Rasnustitz.
Yep.
Not saying that right.
Right tackle.
They've redid their deals. Maybe Michael Thomas is going to play nice and he won't be on the move. But they have great players. Is Lattimore going to be on the move? Who's Marcus Williams, their safety? Is he going to be on the move? Russell Wilson, is he going to be on the move?
Two-time MVP.
Let's talk about where does Watson end up? Did you read some of the reports that came out?
I can't even keep track.
I can't even. I'm the same way. He's all over
right now. I got James Harden.
It's deplorable. He's a bad dude. Like
yeah,
I mean, some of the stuff is.
Is he a creep or a felon now?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, both.
So is NFL career done?
What did the report
bad?
say? What did he do?
Between the sexual deviation and the things that publicly, like he did with these girls and harassed them, and it's not good. Not good. So
NFL
I don't know.
career over bad?
Listen, I think so.
Okay.
I do, because if they didn't act, I don't know what the NFL is waiting for. They're waiting for justice and due process to take.
They usually always do. Yeah,
they do. They got to. That's just covering their ass.
Right.
But I think the more information comes out about him and the owners, I think there's no way he gets another job. No way. No way.
I'm for it. I mean, like Rob was just saying, you got a quarterback carousel that's just out in the NFL right now, like we have never seen before.
There's other guys too, like Kyler Murray.
Right. Yeah. There's
he's
rumors
like
of him now.
Land out there in Arizona. Like I read a report that like Kyler Murray sat down with the Arizona ownership because of like he didn't like how like the season ended. Obviously, they got raced by the Rams on national TV, the first Monday night playoff game ever. And he wants him to trade for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, he said, if I don't have CeeDee Lamb, get me out of here. Wait, what?
Wow.
What? Because they're buddies from Oklahoma. Like that's not how the league works.
See, I don't know.
Like,
it doesn't work
Cowboys
that way.
aren't going to trade you.
And he's not that guy.
No.
It'll be interesting what Aaron Rodgers, where he ends up.
15 mil.
Shocked if he's
15 mil. Do you think he's $15 million a year?
Well, if you pay him that much, then everyone else around you.
Goodbye, Adams.
Yeah.
Goodbye, your Smith brothers.
First off, he's not going to be able to make that money.
So he's
going to have to restructure his deal. What's he want to do? He said he don't want to be part of a rebuild, right?
No, he wants to win. Yeah, so
he wants to win. So
you can't command that kind of money then.
No,
you can't make that
you can't
money
walk into a team that
and
is ready to win a quarterback away and then also get paid.
Right.
I mean, just ask Brady. I mean, that's why Brady was so good. I mean, he took pay cuts for years.
Peyton Manning did the same thing when he went to
the same thing.
Denver. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But I think Aaron Rodgers is too soft. I don't think he has that competitive nature to dip into the AFC with all those good quarterbacks.
I agree. I mean, he would look really good in a the Washington Redskins or here with Eagle Green but I don't think they do.
The Commanders, Brad.
The Commanders. Oh, that's right. The Commanders.
At least we have a name now.
Yeah.
Correct. Not the football club.
A stupid name, but
Yep.
I kind of want to see Carolina get a quarterback.
Carolina's a team. Denver's a team. The one that for me is sticking out, the Saints.
Yeah.
The Saints, I believe, are a quarterback away.
They're $60 million over though.
True.
They're in trouble.
Sure.
So you got to trade Cam Jordan, you got to trade Lattimore, you got to trade Marcus Williams.
You got to get rid of some pieces.
These guys out to get Aaron Rodgers, and then you're a team that Aaron Rodgers is going to look at and be like, I'm not a contender here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tampa
and you got to look at your supporting cast, and then you got to look too the conference, your road to get to the Super Bowl.
Your division,
your division. Yep. What's the division look like? I'm playing these two teams twice, home and away, and you got to look at that as well.
That's what I mean. The NFC South is another division. Atlanta's a little bit hurt, and Matt Ryan's not what he was. Carolina don't even have a quarterback right now. Tampa doesn't have a quarterback right now. I mean, Saints could, if they do get a quarterback, they could be right in it.
They could be right in it. Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting division to watch.
It is.
The NFC South.
What do we do here with our Eagles?
I want Russell Wilson.
I mean, it's looking like Russ, yeah.
I mean, but you trade, you bring him in, and then you don't get any other help. I mean, we need line help. We need
what do you mean?
Defensive.
It depends on what you trade. It depends on what you trade.
Well,
if it's only one first this year and a first next year, I'm all in.
Okay.
I'm all in.
So you're not, Brad, you're not trading 15 and 16 for Russell Wilson?
I'm not.
Well, if you bring Russ in here today, are we the way the environment is? right now, can we win?
We're not better
Yes.
than Dallas. We're not better than Dallas.
Okay, so that's the question.
Okay.
So
but
you bring him in for
we just talked about the Nets.
a
And how
3-year.
they
So
don't
he
get-
comes in. He's on a 5-year deal, right? Well, can you win here? Do we have enough pieces in place
Yes.
to have Russ win or be competitive?
1,000%. Yes.
Okay.
I think you're competitive. I just don't think that you're a favorite. No.
Well, no, you're not going to be the favorite because the champions of the league are in your conference. So let's forget about the favorite.
Okay.
And after that, you're going to have the Cowboys, but I'm just going to cross them right off the list because they never do anything when they're the favorites. They're projected to be good. You know, get me Dallas in the playoffs. I'm beating them.
Right.
No doubt about it. Mike McCarthy can't coach. Dak
Well,
is
yeah.
overrated
So
because of the
speaking of
star.
Mike McCarthy, I mean, Peyton's the next coach there. I mean, he's just waiting in
Sounds
the wings.
like it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
already done.
It's almost a done deal, right?
So, you know, I'm not worried about Dallas. You have San Francisco. Like, they're a good roster, but, you know, they're
Sounds
probably
like Jimmy G's coming back, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So that's a good team.
Yeah.
If you give me Russell Wilson and don't change nothing else, I'll take the Eagles over the Niners.
Yeah, but the reason the Eagles, they caught lightning in a bottle, they had a shitty schedule in terms of
Right.
who they
Correct.
played, right? The teams they didn't beat a winning team. Okay.
Right.
So I know you can only play who's on your schedule. They don't have the pieces yet. And that's why all the draft choice, the draft capital is so important this year over the next 2 years.
But
Right.
I don't care. Like, everyone's likes to get on Howard Roseman because he misses in the draft, yet the Eagles are in the playoffs every year. So I'm not really sure how that correlates there. He finds a way to build a playoff roster every year. Look at what you do have. Look, you get Russell Wilson, Devontae Smith's going to have 120 catches next year. And you're going to get the best out of Dallas Goedert. That's pretty good. I'm not a Pro Football Focus guy, but a lot of people are. And Dallas Goedert was, I think, the 4th highest rated tight end on Pro Football Focus last year.
Right.
Yep.
Actually, I think he was second. Only Mark
I
Andrews
think
was
they had him second. Yeah.
So, yeah. So you have that.
Okay. So
You still have a good offense. You still have even if Kelsey retires,
You got a good offensive line still.
you
no
have
doubt.
you're young on the left side. Lane Johnson's coming back. You got to figure out guard. You got to figure out center. Okay.
Well, Dickerson moves to center. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think Dickerson's your
I
center.
don't know.
Yeah.
You did a pretty good job at guard, and I would just keep that left side alone. But that's me.
Okay.
And then if you do trade 2 first-round picks for Russ, I'm 1,000% picking Brad's boy Linderbaum with my pick 19. If he's
There's
there.
your center then. Yeah. Yep.
And then there's your center.
Yep.
Then you can get a receiver later.
And where's he go to school?
Iowa.
Iowa.
He's a Hawkeye, baby.
There you
He's a
go.
Hawkeye.
I'm in on him.
He's
I
a
like
Hawkeye.
him.
I'm all for him.
He's
He-
good.
he-
He's
I
the
want-
real deal.
If
Yeah.
he's at 19, I'm taking him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Ferentz has a great program
he'll pay
there.
10. He'll pay 10 years in the league. You know.
Yep.
No problems.
Look, they produce pros.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Hawkinson, Kittle,
Tough pros too.
Wirfs down in Tampa Bay. I mean, he's first team All-Pro right tackle.
Kittle, my boy Kittle.
Yep.
Noah
Yep.
Fant. I mean, I'm sure you can rattle off many
Has
more.
to be
over
tight end. You has to be
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah, now
So-
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, do you need some help on defense? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Big help.
But,
I
like,
mean-
you build, like, you can't win without a franchise quarterback in this league.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
true.
do it.
We can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
If you don't have an offense, and I know, because what was your last year in the league, Brad?
93.
93. And how different is the game now?
Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Like, defense, like you had Buddy Ryan, like
Yeah,
you had,
the offense. I mean, the personnel groupings, the way philosophy. You know, that was the beginning of the West Coast offense. Now, you don't see that. We used to have 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends personnel.
Right. Now it's all
22
spread.
It's
Yeah.
all spread. It's all 10. No
Yep.
tight ends at all. The bigger receivers, 1 running back.
Right.
It's completely different.
so like if you don't have a quarterback that can put up 30 and can make 15, 20, 25 throws in a football game to win you the game,
Can't
you're
win.
not going to win.
You're not going to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to start, and it's unfortunate that the Eagles have these 3 first-round picks this year, and there's not that guy at the top of the draft that you can use your capital to go get.
Yeah.
But you can use your capital to go get someone like Russell Wilson.
But the problem is that the way the league is, and this is why I have a tough time with the owners, is the way the salary cap and the way the structure is. It's very difficult. It hamstrings you when you go out and buy that. Like the Rams were all in this year.
Right.
Who knows what's going to happen next year because they just can't keep everyone around.
Right.
So do you take a flyer and do that, or do you build a team through the draft because you got 5-year contracts with these first round draft choices. So you can.
That's what I think it comes down to. Howie Roseman, what does he value more? Right? Does he value the salary cap space and keeping a Jalen Hurts and going off of just the previous history is the Super Bowl champions are usually quarterbacks that are on rookie deals.
Yes.
All right? Or do we value you have to have a franchise quarterback? Usually that rookie quarterback is a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? We just don't have that luxury.
No, he's not a franchise quarterback.
No, he's not a franchise quarterback.
Okay. Let's say you pick 3 studs in the first round and you use your cap space and you don't address quarterback. Jalen Hurts is your guy next year.
Right.
You get a receiver, you get 3 monsters in the first round of the draft. It's still my opinion that you're not contenders because Jalen Hurts ain't it.
I think you're a contender. I think you're a contender because we were just a contender last year. Right? So I do think
you think we're a contender last year?
You have to get in it to be a contender.
Yeah, but we were
I know there was all kinds of factors that allowed us to be in there. I get that. But you have to be in it to be a contender. All right? So saying that we're not going to be a contender next year when we add more, I just think is just a little bit outlandish. I think you can be.
But, and hear me out on this one too. Like, let's say you don't grab Russell Wilson and Russell Wilson goes to Washington.
Yeah. Now you're hurting because now they're a lot better team.
Yeah. Now you split them. You win at home, lose down there.
Right.
You got Antonio Gibson. You have Scary Terry.
Say the same thing too.
You have a good
if they go to the Giants, if he goes to the Giants, Giants are a way better team now.
Giants stink.
If they get a quarterback, they got a great offense.
Washington and Philadelphia have rosters in place. Even though the Philadelphia fan base thinks that the cupboard is bare here in Philadelphia, and it sounds like you two agree with that narrative.
I
don't agree with that narrative.
Washington has a better base. They have a better
I agree.
personnel than the Eagles do.
Maybe.
They have a better foundation.
They have a better foundation. They're definitely better defensively, okay, and better foundation.
Yeah.
So
Stevie
you
Colombo,
plug and play.
Russell Wilson will go to the Saints.
You bring Russ to Washington, they dramatically improve.
Yeah,
that's a legitimate.
There's another one.
That's the best team in the NFC. If the Washington football team gets Russell Wilson, that's the favorite in the NFC, in my opinion.
NFC East. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're close. Yeah.
NFC.
Yeah, I mean, depends on what the Rams do, but yeah.
Mr. Wing Murray's a baby. This new QB who is moaning and bitching needs to be shut down. Rodgers, Wentz, Wilson, hurting the league jumping teams. NBA is already hurt by this behavior.
Just the way it is, Mr. Wing.
I totally disagree with Mr. Wing again. I think the NBA is in the best spot it's been in decades from a parity standpoint.
Yeah, but I understand what he's saying, but I think he just needs to come to terms with that's just the way.
That's the way
the world is, not just sports. The way the world is now.
Well, I mean, thank God we don't have with basketball and sort of with basketball, but with baseball is ridiculous. You pay the luxury tax, and it's the same 3-4 teams every year that are going to be
year.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about Calvin Ridley? He's another top tier talent that could move teams.
Yeah.
Love
to have him.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If his mind's right, I agree with you.
Super talented.
But like, what do you give for him?
I'm not giving any more than a second.
Because he didn't play football last year?
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL, it's the second, third, probably.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah, I'm giving a second, maybe a third. Yeah.
So 51 for Calvin Ridley.
If I'm keeping 15, 16, 19, yes.
Or
if
whatever.
I'm trading 15, 16 to get Russ, no, I'm not giving up 51 either.
Whoa. So wait, if you could tell me I can trade 51 for Calvin Ridley and trade 15, 2 of the 3 first rounders, I can bring Russ and Calvin Ridley. Then I'm scoring 30 points a game, and it's party time in Philadelphia.
So you're talking about giving, trading the 2 to Russ.
You're trading your whole entire draft.
So
Howie Roseman over the past years
be around
that.
Pete's done because he's not going to stick around for a rebuild project. He's too old.
Well, I would assume that Jalen Hurts would be in that trade, so they get a quarterback back. But they're getting 15 and 16. Maybe they like someone. I don't know what Seattle's doing. Yeah, I don't know what they like.
Yeah, well, it'll wash out.
Maybe
over
they
the
love
next
Pickett.
And
he thinks that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Maybe they like Malik Willis. He's the greatest thing. So I have no idea what these teams like.
I just think Howie Roseman has built up this draft equity for a reason. He's going to use it. I don't think he's going to use it to trade for elderly players. I think he genuinely wants to get younger and keep this team, like you said, a playoff team year after year after year.
And mediocrity, that's what they want to do. That's him and Laurie. That's their forte. That's what they do. They're going to build through the draft. They think they're smarter than everyone else. And
owners and GMs have to worry about the bottom lines. Players and fans worry about championships.
Well, there's no bottom line. They're filled every game. They get their TV money.
But if you make the playoffs, you make more money. A lot more money.
But
a lot.
Hasn't the precedent been set by the last 2 Super Bowl champions that you're always in win now mode in the NFL?
Yeah.
No, those teams were constructed so well that they were a quarterback away. So
what did the Rams do with their draft picks?
The Rams were all in this year.
The Rams were constructed.
But the Rams have been setting up this year for a couple of years now.
Yes.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's what Howie wants to do right now. Right? Use the draft capital, hit home runs on the drafts.
But the Rams,
and then next year, in 2024, you can say we're a quarterback away.
Yeah, I agree.
But the quarterbacks are available now.
We don't know that yet.
You don't know what's going to be there.
We don't know what's available.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to be there.
What am I supposed to just hope that Caleb Williams is at the top of the draft and I'm in a position to get him next year or whatever?
I don't think. If I'm Howie. And I either draft for a veteran quarterback. I don't see a quarterback out there that is that guy that you can't miss, like a franchise guy.
There's not
in the draft. You mean
in the draft?
Right.
The draft. So
agreed.
So that's not going to. They're not going to go that route. They're going to go. Okay, we're going to take all this draft capital we have. I'm going to move down. I'm going to get more people around me, and then win. 9, 10 games, make the playoffs, make the wild card. And kind of do that, and then make my move next year or the year after when there's a quarterback available for the right price.
Maybe he rolls over a little bit more salary cap for 2024, and then we could go get that quarterback, whoever's available then.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? That's my thinking. That's what I would do if I'm in the Eagles in this draft situation. Let's build the roster. 2024, if we feel like we're a quarterback away, go get that guy with the salary cap structure that we're going to have.
Yeah. And the cap's going to go up. It's going to move up again. Every year it goes up, 8% or whatever it does. And we'll see.
Yep.
So if I trade 15, 16 for Russ,
I
take Brad's boy Linderbaum at 19.
Okay.
And I trade 51 and maybe a little pot sweetener for Calvin Ridley.
You'll have to score 42. You'll have to score 42 to win every game. You'll have to score 42 to win every game.
That's
your defense is garbage.
That's the league.
Yeah, but you got to get a couple.
That's not Tampa when they won. That's not the Rams when they won this year. They had great defenses. But
you're gonna have other picks.
I mean, if you're sitting here telling me you're going to roll the dice and hope a 5th rounder turns out to be a star cornerback.
That's our whole team. Howie can't pick at the top of the draft. Andy Reid couldn't pick at the top of the draft.
I'm not constructing. You're right. There are those picks, but I'm not constructing and putting my hopes and fear and beliefs in that.
There's no sport. Brad, did you get when did you get picked?
I got 245 pick in 1990 or 89 draft.
And was there 7 rounds in that? Do you remember?
There was 12 back
12,
then.
right?
12.
Yeah. Okay. So the NFL, unlike any other, like the NBA, if you have a top 10 pick, you're probably not getting a player.
Correct.
The NHL, not only NHL and NBA, the first pick of each of those drafts, you don't see them for 5 years.
Correct.
Yeah. The NFL, you make your living round 3 to round 7. I mean,
that's why the Eagles are in the playoffs every year. Your starting running back was a 2nd-round pick. Your starting center, who's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion, was a 5th-round pick. Yeah, you got landed at the top of the draft. Fletcher Cox was a 1st-round pick. But, I don't care where the players come from. Everyone's like, oh, you got to build through the draft. It's not 1994 anymore.
Yeah.
You don't build in the draft. There's all kinds of ways to acquire guys.
No, but through the draft or free agency or whatnot. But the way the cap is, that's where you got to get your guy.
Correct. And that's what I was going to say. And Brad says it every week, is the first rounder, the luxury of the first rounder is you get that 5th-year control.
Yeah, it's a 5-year guy. I mean,
that's huge. That's huge.
And if you draft right and he's a Hall of Famer and a Pro Bowler in his first 5 years.
Right. Because what's the average career of guys now? Maybe 7 years?
No, 2.2 years.
Well, on first rounders, I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, first rounders, yeah.
7-8 years?
Yeah.
They're not usually going 3 contracts.
No.
Right? They're doing their rookie deal, then they're getting paid, and that's pretty much it.
That's it.
Hitting in the first rounder and having that 5th-year option control is just so big in the NFL.
Look, if I can parlay my draft capital into proven talent.
Right. Yeah, but then you're got to pay. He's going to want a new deal, and then you're going to be tied up cap number wise.
Cap space.
Well, I don't know. Do you?
You don't. Yeah.
Because the reason being is you're going to have to sign other guys, and then you have your rookie wage scale, but you traded away the 3 first round draft choices.
No, I'm still picking one.
You're still taking 19. One. Yeah, you're still taking one. If you trade 2 picks.
That's what teams have, though. So you're back to the norm, and you have a franchise quarterback.
I just don't think the Eagles are in that position to say we're definitely a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. I don't think we're in that position.
But they don't have a franchise quarterback.
You're right. Okay.
You're right. But how many people
why can't we get one in 2024?
How many people do?
Right, that too.
Because you have access to some now.
Well, you think there's not going to be any available in 24
on the trade market? There's proven guys.
But you're not ready to implement that. Bring them in, and your team, the surrounding supporting cast isn't ready yet.
Right.
Okay, so what if you take the 3 first-round picks and you whiff on all of them?
Well, then you're in a deeper hole. Then the quarterback's not going to help you no matter what.
Yeah. Well, then
you could have had Russ for 2 of the first-round picks that you whiffed on.
But he's not going to get you there. You're just not going to get there. You're not getting there if you bring Russ in. You're not a top 3 team in the NFC, let alone the NFL.
I don't agree with that. I don't trust Dallas. Who does, unless you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. The Niners, okay.
Niners are probably better.
San Francisco, or the Rams are the champs. Tampa Bay ain't doing nothing next year. No one in the South.
If Aaron Rodgers comes back, Green Bay's better.
Yep,
I'd be shocked. Better. I mean, yeah, cool. But look at their roster outside of the quarterback position. They don't have this gangbusters roster.
They got a lot better roster than what we got. Their defense is a lot better than what we are.
I mean, okay, but they win 13 games a year, not because of their defense. They win 13 games every year because they have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
I hear you. I get it. I'm with you.
I don't know. I just don't think the Eagles.
I don't think we're there.
Okay, they don't think like that. They're just conservative. They want to, I think they just want to make the playoffs every year, keep them happy, and
right. I agree with that. the conservative aspect of this. Like they're not like Kroenke on the Rams. Like he's aggressive.
Yeah, he's aggressive.
Yeah. Let's take out the trading factor. All right. If we're holding 15, 16, 19, Rob, where do you want to go in the draft? What do you want?
Well, I mean, the precedent set. I mean, Howie Roseman, he goes with the trenches.
Okay.
It's where football's won. And I guess you go there.
Are you opposed to that?
No, but I just don't. I don't see the point when I have Russell Wilson sitting there taking a whole bunch of maybes in the trenches or a maybe linebacker or maybe safety when I can go get a proven Hall of Fame quarterback
commodity,
Russell Wilson.
And a lot of times that high, they don't. People draft needs. They draft best available. That might be too high for a lot of guys that you're drafting. That you need a tackle. Or you need a D tackle or a receiver, another receiver or tight end.
Right.
You
could be reaching. Yeah.
Everybody has holes in a hard cap. The teams with franchise quarterbacks, they don't have as good of rosters because they're paying their franchise quarterbacks hundreds of millions of dollars. The teams that don't have franchise quarterbacks, they're looking for a franchise quarterback because, they're kind of good everywhere else. I disagree,
though, Rob. Like, tell me the hole that the Rams had this year. Tell me a hole that Tampa Bay had this year.
Right.
Like, what holes did they have?
They didn't have a hole. They filled the only hole they have by trading for Matthew Stafford.
Because they were in that position. If we trade for Russ, does that fill our cornerback? Does that fill our safety? Does that fill our linebacker hole? No.
That's the problem. So we're going to have to outscore everybody.
And Russell Wilson has a no-trade clause. So Russell Wilson is going to play football wherever Russell Wilson wants. I get all that.
Correct. Yeah, it's.
But, like, how bad does he want out of Seattle? If he wants out of Seattle at all.
Right.
Like, there's only so many teams with assets that can satisfy Seattle's request and have the money to bring Russ in. So that the teams that, if Russ wants out, his hands are kind of tied about where he can go.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, there's a guy that just said the Steelers. The Steelers are another one. That's another great. If I'm Russ, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, if I'm Watson or anyone else that's on the market, I want to go to the Steelers over Philly. I want to go to New Orleans. I want to go to Denver over Philly.
Okay, but
I want to go to Tampa.
I have 3 first-round picks, and I have the money to pay Russ.
He has to agree to make anything happen.
I understand that. Seattle can just say, cool, you want to go to Seattle, or you want to go to Pittsburgh, you want to go to Denver. They're not.
They might say, okay, if that's where you're going to agree, I'll take what they're going to offer me. Yeah. If that's one first, then that's what I got to take. That's their own fault for signing him to that deal.
It'll be a very interesting 2 weeks here.
It will.
All this stuff will shake out before the combine, I think.
When does the season officially start for the NFL?
March 8th is
the 8th.
Is the start of the new league year.
Okay.
Remember that? Like, there's fireworks on that day. At least there has been in years past.
Yeah, all the rumors will be flying this week, and then you get to the 8th, and hopefully you start seeing some things shake out.
All the tampering.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like the legal tampering period. Like, what is that? The legal tampering. Just open free agency.
Just open it. Yeah.
Like, we have a deal in place with this guy, but it's legal tampering, so it's not official. No, like you have it. You got it all worked out. Just sign it up.
Who was that? Patricia, the with the Lions. Was that the coach that signed the deal and then backed out of the deal and
that was McDaniels with the Colts.
McDaniels, that's who it was. McDaniels.
He was going to go to the Colts, and now he's in Vegas.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see where these guys go and what, especially look, you look at the draft, and I don't ever remember a draft where 4 teams kind of hold all the cards. You got Detroit with 2-31. You have New York Giants at 5-7. You have the Jets at 4-10, and then you have the Eagles with 15, 16, and 19.
Right.
So
Detroit has 34 also, which is a big one.
Yeah, and teams like that because teams they can sneak back in with that pick to get the 5th-year guy, and like we were saying, so that's 3 teams with 4 teams, right? With 6 picks
Multiple.
in the first round?
Yeah. Yep.
6 out of 32. That's roughly 25% of the first round picks are going to be made by 4 teams.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, to me,
there'll be some moving.
There'll be some moving. That's what that means to me.
That's what that means. There's going to be a lot of maneuvering, and and the value, like all these guys, these draft guys.
Howie's Mr. Trade at the draft, always making moves, and he's good
trade
at
down. Trade down, get more
so
value.
What if you trade 15 and 16 for Russ, and then you move 19 back and replenish your draft capital that way? There's so many ways.
I'd be so mad if that happened.
Why?
If we had 3 first-round picks this year and we come out with 0, I would be so sad.
Well,
I'd be so sad.
You're coming out with Russell Wilson.
Again, it doesn't turn the needle for me.
What if like here's a scenario for you. What if you trade 15 and 16 for Russell Wilson, and then you trade back with the Lions and have 31, 34, and 51?
I would really like that then. I would like that. That would be a good trade.
I just don't see the Eagles being aggressive and go get Russ.
Either do I.
I just don't see it.
So what's the one guy in the draft? If there's one guy in the draft that you're trading up for, is there anyone that you would trade? To me, there's one. It's Hamilton, the safety.
Yeah, I mean,
I would trade 15 and 16 to move up to 4 to get him.
You're going to trade?
I would do that.
15 and 16 to 4
for
a safety?
Yes.
But you won't trade 15 and 16 for a franchise quarterback? Are you out of your fucking mind?
No, I'm not.
An unproven safety at that.
I have that kid for 5 years who will change your defense.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm speechless. I'm sorry.
Really?
But that's the dumbest thing you've ever said in your
John.
entire life.
No, stop it.
Listen, leave the shop right now because whatever you're smoking,
it's the salt air coming.
You're going to argue with me for 45 minutes about how you wouldn't trade 15 and 16 for Russell Wilson.
Right.
You'll trade 15 and 16 for an unproven safety out of Notre Dame.
Correct.
Huh?
Wow.
Correct.
Huh?
Correct.
So that means you're telling me, you just told me for 45 minutes how if you get a franchise quarterback in here,
right,
that doesn't put you closer to being a contender. But you're going to tell me you're going to trade 15 and 16 for Kyle Hamilton?
I think a safety gets me a lot. I think a safety gets me there a lot closer in 2024, 2025, 2026.
Than a quarterback?
Well, I think we could get that quarterback in 2024, 2025.
They don't grow on trees. Safeties.
I get it. But you said it too, Brad. We get Russ. We're still not even maybe not a playoff team.
But you wouldn't trade 2 picks for Kyle Hamilton. Well, what does that do for you?
It buys me 5 years of a good defense. One guy.
But you're going to get 5 years out of Russ. These guys playing until Ben Roethlisberger just retired at 40. Philip Rivers played until he's 40. Aaron Rodgers is 39. You're getting 5 years out of Russ.
Okay, you're getting 5 years of $40 million also from him. Which handicaps everything. To me, it just handicaps everything.
I don't know.
Listen, I wouldn't hate it if we went and got Russ. I'm not going to say I would hate it. I just think the better play is to build up your roster and then look for 2024.
How are you
2023? You're not winning.
16 for Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
Maybe safety.
A maybe safety. He's a home run pick in this draft. To me, there's 3 guys that are home run picks in this draft.
Who are they?
Neal, the offensive lineman, Hutchinson, and Hamilton.
Okay. You might be right, but you also might be wrong.
No, true.
No.
True.
Evaluating talent, evaluating how these players are going to transition from being kids into being played to be professional athletes. It's really hard.
Very
correct.
hard.
Correct.
I already know that Russell Wilson can.
It's probably the hardest thing to do in sports.
You're probably right. Yes.
To translate college football players if they're going to be a successful
NFL.
pro player.
Sure.
Very
you want to
difficult.
trade 15 and 16 for a safety, but you're going to thumb your nose up at Russ.
I'm thumbing my nose up at Russ. I just think that you're not going to be a contender, and you're hamstringing yourself going forward to try to get to be a contender.
So you have less draft capital. Cool, you have a safety who looks good. I'm not going to deny that he doesn't look like a good
Kid looks like a stud.
I identify.
He changes your defense.
I identify as a Notre Dame fan, so I've watched a lot of Kyle Hamilton, not only this year, but the last couple of years as well. And he looks like a really good player. He's 6'4", he's 210.
He can cover, he can hit, he can do it all.
Cover, he can hit, but I'm not trading 15 and 16 for a safety. That's ludicrous.
Okay.
Maybe if you had everything and you had a glaring need in your secondary,
right?
Maybe you go do that.
And I'm saying the same thing for Russ. If you had everything and you had a glaring need at quarterback, I would do it.
But quarterback and safety they have the quarterback impacts the game.
They're touching the ball every time. Yeah.
So much.
I'm with you.
Every play.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But you're not based on your.
If you trade for Russ, you cannot build this team, in my opinion. You can't do it with capital of draft because you're going to lose some of it, and you can't do it with your free agency money because he's taking it.
He's taking everything.
That's it.
And
with Hamilton, I still have the money, and I have it for 5 years.
Yeah, but you lose. But you're going to have to trade. You lose too much trading up to get him.
Maybe that's another maybe. Yes,
I'll take the third ranked safety at pick 51.
Correct.
And look, if I'm not,
we did that with Wallace. How's that turning out? We all thought he was going to be the next Dawkins. How's that working?
No, those were Brian Dawkins.
Stop it.
One of a kind player.
Everyone was saying we got our next Dawkins.
I like K'Von Wallace. I like the pick, and we'll see. This is rent's due, as some would say, for K'Von Wallace this year. So we'll see.
He's not Hamilton.
Well, he's just a higher rated guy. Like Hamilton's a higher rated guy.
I don't know. He changes the defense.
Better player.
He changes the defense.
He does because the way the defense. He definitely is a game changer. But
he changes the defense.
Quickly before we get out of here, we got live reaction coming out at 1:30. Sixers about to tip off. Labor negotiation, the MLB. This is
it's disgusting.
It's horrible.
Well,
they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they're just too prideful on both ends.
Yep.
And who suffers? The fans. We suffer.
Brad, what's that like? Like as a were you ever involved in like?
Well, the CBA when 92 there's a new CBA agreement in 92 or 93 with the NFL, but I mean we wouldn't get involved. The players have their say so. You vote who your team leader is internally, and then you have D. Smith was hired to negotiate for current players. But the baseball, it's just the union's way stronger than any other sport.
Correct.
So that's
they hold a lot of weight.
They hold a lot of weight.
Union stronger in baseball than football?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Football's
not even a union, it's an association.
Right.
So there's technically no union with football.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But it just seems like the players would have more to say in the NFL because they generate so much more revenue.
They have the NFL players have the least to say out of all professional sports teams.
I was just about to say that. I think
terrible.
Because the season's so much longer in baseball, players are so much more valuable. I don't want to go see my baseball team without their stars on it. Football, I'll still go because there's only 8 home games. I'm going to go no matter what. No matter who's there, I'm going to go. Baseball, I got to see stars.
NFL owners have it's a
monopoly.
It's a monopoly,
yeah.
and they got us by the balls.
Because there's the USFL, the XFL. Those are a joke, right?
They're just not. They got us by the balls,
And then that's cool that the MLB wants to throw their weight around as a player, and I'm all for the players getting their fair share because the owners, they make enough money, and the owners want to make they're not making any money off baseball because of the pandemic. That's a crock of nonsense.
Yeah, I think it was just this week the Atlanta Braves had to release their financials for last year, and it was it was eye-opening for me as a baseball fan to see how much a franchise like the Braves, who are considered kind of low market,
That's not
really
the
made.
Yankees. It's not the Mets.
But how much they really made, the owner really made. It's a lot more than I thought.
They make it like the Yes Network with New York. I mean, it's the networks, the media.
The TV deals are outrageous.
Outrageous, but they did lose a ton of money of in-person viewers with COVID. I mean, it's a lot of money.
On the radar, like once we get these mandate, like COVID, like
COVID's done.
I'm
sick of talking about. I mean, it was so
we're going to get back to normal at some point, right?
Well, normal should be right now.
Soon.
Let's get back to normal.
The 7th, it sounds like,
But they're throwing away their opportunity to make up for lost time because of the pandemic by not having a season.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody's making any money if the games are canceled.
No.
Not only are games canceled, like games aren't being postponed.
Canceled.
They're being canceled.
They're being written off. Yep.
They're being written off. So whenever they do come back, it's going to be like the pandemic, the 60 game, 80 game, 100 game.
You never get that money back.
Yeah. I mean, Brad said it best when you just said lockout is MLB shooting themselves in the foot. Of course, and that's it.
That's what they're doing. They got two stubborn people, and unfortunately, what really hurts the MLB is you don't make money until you get to your big time contract, your MLB contract. Right. When you're in the AAA, AA, and AAA, you're living like a peasant.
And that seems to be the sticking point.
Oh,
correct.
It's terrible.
Correct.
It's terrible.
They want minor leagues just to make a little bit more money.
That's why the NFL. That's why the NFL's got it made, because they have a farm system that they don't have to pay for in the NCAA.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, we got to log off. Sixers about to tip off. Live reactions coming off at 1:30. Thank you to Brad for joining us.
Guys, hey, listen, John, let's tighten it up next for our Vegas the draft. So we'll
sounds good, bro.
Yeah, looking forward to it, guys. Thanks, guys.
Big news coming. Check out All Campus. They're going to be open for much of the afternoon today. Beautiful day down there on the Ocean.
Go down there and buy a Hawkeye hat.
There you go. He's got it. He's got everything. He's got 50% off today too. So thank you to everyone who liked, subscribed, and shared the show. Thank you, Ralph, for producing the show. Until next Sunday, folks, peace out.